Hey, what's up, guys? So I am back with my new video on SQL queries, and so today our focus would be more on to the questions related to joins, and so I will go ahead with the first query, which will not be including this join. So we could brief out the syntax that we had discussed in the previous video, and after which we will go on the joins. Uh, so yeah, so let's get started. And I have this one PDF which has the questions listed on the same database that we are working on. So it could be quite helpful that uh, we could have the questions in our hand and we just need to look for the query. We need not to make any question here. So let's begin. So this question says there's Tuesdays are upsell days for sales people at Adventure Works. Management wants to compare sales from Tuesday to other days of the week. So for all the other days and Tuesday, he wants to compare all the days of the week, the sales, to see if the initiative is working. Okay. Then he wants to monitor the upsell initiative by creating a query. Okay, and calculate average revenue per order by day of week in 2018. Okay, so this is a sales data, and we have this query, and we have these set of columns that we want to show day of week. Okay, so we want to see all the days of the week for which we want to get the data. So the it will be according to the day of week sales query, and revenue for each day of week, then orders, total number of orders they want, and the revenue per order. So there is a note that dates based on order date. Okay, we will check this column in the database, and taxes and freight should not be considered. Okay, we need not to consider this thing. Then we could exclude the online orders. Okay, so let's look at the database. So as we are looking on to the sales data, so probably I would have to go to this schema sales. So I know where to look the data. I need to check where I could get the data for sales in the columns. So we have the sales order header, and we can see the order date here. And so yeah, we can probably look at this table. So let's first make the select statement, uh, and then go forward onto this question again and figure out things. So I've already selected this one. I need to make this query select, and just see top 10 rows from it, which is on um, sales order header, sales order header. Okay, so we have the data here, and we can see the order date from which we need to figure out. So yes, they already said that we need to include the order date, on which basis I could figure out the day of the week. Okay, so we need to have one function that could get this thing. So maybe we need to look at the so okay, yeah, so we could do something like this to get the date, and day of the week. So let's check this thing. So select top 10 entries, and what we want to select extra here is we're gonna select a star means that all the columns, and now I do want to get the name, get the day of week. So day of week, and here is the date column which is order date. I will give. Okay, let's run this query. uh, so yeah, we can see Tuesday. Let's distinct, get the distinct values, and for the weeks of week, and we can see all the data that we have. Okay, so we got the day of week now, and we want to select the data by order by day of week in 2008. Okay, so we could make something where order date, uh, if there is any year function, let me see. Yes, yes. Okay, we just need to give one 2008. So 2008, I'm not sure whether we have the data for this or not. I'm gonna comment this one. So let's make it 2013 rather than going on to 2008 if we don't have the data. So let's mold this query to for the year 2013. Okay, now we could get all the day of week. Okay, okay, so now what we're gonna do here is, um, so if we just do the select star here, we'll get a lot of rows, right? um, so we can see there are 14,182 rows. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna group the data, right, by which column, by this value, day of week. No, this one. Okay, day of week. uh, so now we could, okay, now once we are grouping, you know that we cannot have columns which are not mentioned here if we don't use any aggregate function on them. So we can show this one, and what does he want? He want the following columns: day of week, which I am already showing, revenue, total revenue per. So how would we get the revenue? Let me see if there is any column. So we have the subtotal. I think that can be used, subtotal, and we cannot use this like this. We have to make the sum of the subtotal as revenue. Okay, so we have selected one column here, second one is here. Okay, now third column, orders. So you want to take total orders, so we can just say count star. Star means whatever, when we are grouping, so whatever number of rows we have, we could just say count star as orders. Okay, now what do we want? Revenue per order. Okay, um, revenue per order. So we're gonna divide the revenue by order so we could get the average out of so what we could possibly do here is this thing as the revenue per order. So we can write something like revenue per order. So note, you have must have noticed that I have used this these brackets because if we have the space in the column, it would give some error. So using this, it knows that this is one entity and this is one column name. So now let's uh, fetch the query. So yeah, we got the result. Now, do we need something extra here? Okay, so there are some things that we need to focus on. They exclude the online orders. So do we have any other columns? Just make a select top 10. Online order. Okay, okay. Online order flag. Online orders should be excluded. So online order flag should be 0. Okay. So when you want to filter that thing, what you can do is you can make the filter using the where clause because you want to filter them before grouping, right? So that's how you could get the total out of up when you are grouping the data. So that's why online order equals to 0. So that would be our query, and we can see the values there. We can also order the data, order by day of week. Okay, order by day of week. Uh, this is not according to, so this is because of the alphabetic order. So can we do it by, as we have seen here, we have this date part. So let's bring this one. I think that could suffice. We could just say uh, order by date part. We can, this would be order date. Uh, order date. Now it should okay, we are group ordering the data which is not there, so yes, that is not possible. But still what we can do here is um, we can make this thing as well in the group by clause. That won't make any difference because we know that the date part um, that would be, if it is one, that we know that it's a Monday, and so these two values will have the same even if I don't use it or I use it. So let's see if this works. So I can see here it comes okay, so it takes Sunday as a first day. So these are the 7 days, and now we can compare the revenue and the total items. So we have the very less orders being taken on the Friday. So this is how we could make a simple query without using any joins. Now the next question that we will be picking would be related to join. So let me check the question. Okay, so let's look at this question which has the joins needed in this query. So for each product ordered by the purchasing department in 2007, indicate the quantity ordered by order date. Okay, okay. So whatever quantity that has been purchased on the basis of order date, we would get the data from the purchasing department in 2007. Obviously, this date would not be there because last time we queried the database on for the 2008, but we didn't get the data before that. So we'll pick another year. Apart from this, so we need for these four columns. We can arrange the data in descending order by quantity ordered. Okay, so let's look at the database and then we could query the data. So yeah, so first of all, go to this schema section and we want to see the purchasing data, so we should go to the schema which is purchasing. Okay, so here we could see we have the purchase order detail table. So we could get the product ID from here and the order quantity. So for each product the order quantity that is there, we can get it in these two columns. Then if we go to this, so we have product ID, order date, quantity ordered. So order date and product name. So let's look at um, so order date can be figured out using a join made to this another table which is again related to purchase, but this is extra information. So yeah, then we also need to figure out the product name. Okay, so product name should be in another uh, schema. So it would be on the production one where we have the product information. So yeah, we can look at this table and we could get the name. So let's get back to the query. Okay, so let's remove this query and make a new query. Select star from purchasing dot purchasing order detail. So we know that we will get the product ID here and the order date, order quantity. Okay, so we fetched two columns from this one. Okay, now let's go back to this uh, okay, now when we go to this diagram we can see that this table is linked to this table via some of the parameters: ship method ID, purchase order ID. So we have a foreign key, purchasing order ID. Yeah, this is a e order ID, this is also a purchasing e order ID. Okay, so we can make a join on purchasing e order ID of this table and purchasing e order. So definitely if these are the same, then we could merge the data of these two tables. So we will make a join on this table. So if you go to the inner join, which says that we need to pick the common data from both the tables, left and right. So this is the left table. Make the inner join. Now we need to mention the another table. So that table is purchase order header. Okay. Now we need to specify the column. So let's, because the column names are same on both the table and the same name, so we can give an alias on which basis we can differentiate the columns. So I given this alias to this table and this B onto the right table. So A dot purchasing order ID and B dot purchasing order ID. So if we go, because we have not selected any of the columns apart from these two, so let's pick the data from the purchasing order header. So P dot star would give us all the columns of this table. So yeah, from this we want to pick out the order date. Okay, so let's say order date. Yeah, so we have come to this conclusion. We have these the three columns that we need, and now we need the product ID. Now consider this as one table and make this, so this would be the left table, and next right table we will be picking would be the this production dot product table. So we'll pick this name, and using the product ID we could make a join. Here also we have the product ID. Okay, so also we need to make the common data, so we will again use the same inner join. Okay, so we will again make an inner join. Let's make this also capital, although it doesn't matter. Production dot product C, so this is the third table. So now C dot product ID equals to, so purchasing order has this product ID, so B dot product ID purchasing order details have that column. A dot let me see, purchasing order detail have the product ID. Okay, so consider this as one table, and the next when we are doing it, so we know that these three rows will be available, so we can either make the join from this table or from this table. So this will be considered as a left table here, although this I'm saying it as this is a left or this is a right table. In the inner join it won't be needed, but once we are going to the left or right join, then we need to know the notion of this left and right table. So A dot product ID, and now if I just see the product name, so let's bring it here in the very beginning, so that will be much better. Product name, so it will be name only, and this is from the C, which is a product name. Okay, it says the ambiguous column product ID. Okay, definitely. So this means that he need to it needs to the SQL Server needs to know which uh, column is this I want to refer. So I can use any of this column, maybe A dot product ID or C, because we are making an inner join, so that won't make a difference. So this is the name, product ID, and the order and the order date. Now what we gonna do here is, because it says indicate the quantity ordered by order date, so even if we want to group the data, no, we don't want to group the data here. So we need to show that in descending order by quantity ordered. So yeah, we could just say order by quantity ordered, which is order quantity, and make it descending. And now if I see, so I can see that. Okay, so the query is completed by now. So we can move forward to the another join which is left, and maybe I think we should cover that left and right join in the separate video. So this video shouldn't be that lengthy. Okay, thank you.